Okay, we're given a parabola with a vertex 0, 0. Axis of symmetry is the x-axis, and the graph contains the point 6,2. What can we say about this? So let's do some analysis regarding this. So we've got the point 0, 0, and we've got the point 6,2. So 6,2 is here. And again, you could have two different parabolas. You could have one heading like this, or you could have one heading like this. And you'll notice the difference is the axis of symmetry. This one has a y-axis of symmetry. This one has the x-axis of symmetry, which is what we're looking for. This example is x squared equals 4py. This one is y squared equals 4px. So this is the model that we want to work with. So knowing that y squared equals 4px, can we find p? If we find p, we find the equation, but we can also find the focus and the directrix and other interesting things. So what do I know? Fine. Y squared is 4px. I've got the point 6, 2. 6 I'm going to substitute for x. 2 I'm going to substitute for y. So y squared. 2 squared is 4 times p times x. What is x? X is 6. So I get 4 is 24p. Divide both sides by 24. And I get 1/6 is p. So knowing that, plugging that in, I believe my equation is y squared equals 4 times 1/6 times x, which I'm going to go ahead and graph it that way first, just to check to make sure it really does go through that 0.62. So at this point, I'm going to jump to Desmos. We're going to take a look at it. So I have my vertex, which is 0, 0. And I have my point, which is 6,2. And I believe y squared equals 4 times the 6th times x should go through that point. 4 times 1/6 times x. And sure enough, it does. So that makes me feel pretty good. Of course, that's the same thing as y squared equals 4/6 or 2/3 x, right? Written in a somewhat simpler fashion. Y squared equals 2/3 x. But we know p is 1/6. So let's go back and think about what that tells me. So p is 1/6. Remember, p is the directed distance from the vertex to the focus. So the vertex is here. We know that the graph has to envelop the focus. So the focus must be over here. How far away from the vertex? 1/6. So if we go 1/6 to the right of the vertex, where does that bring me? 1/6 to the right of the vertex, not very far for sure. That'll be 1/6, 0. Is the focus. So let's make that a little bigger so that we can see it. And the directrix, this time the directrix is going to have to be a vertical line, 1/6 to the left of the vertex. That will be x equals negative 1/6. So here we'll go with x equals negative 1/6 will be the equation of my directrix. Okay, so these points on the graph have to be equidistant from the focus and the directrix. So what was our point that we started with? It was 6,2, which I can see here. So what is the distance from 6,2 back to the directrix? What is the distance from 6,2 back to the focus? So let's think about that. So it's all the information that we have. The point is 6,2. The focus is 1/6, 0. And the directrix is x equals negative 1/6. What are we going to start with? What is the distance from the point to the directrix? Distance from 6,2 to the directrix. What is the directrix? The directrix is the line x equals negative 1/6. Well, I hope that's obvious. Let's go back and take a look at the picture to see what that distance is. To get from this point back to that directrix, you go 6 and a little bit more. 6 plus, what is that distance right there? Not very much. 6 plus 1/6. So that distance equals 6 plus 1/6, which is 36/37 Very good. Now, how about the distance from that point to the focus? So what is the distance from that point, 6,2, to the focus, which is 1/6, 0? So distance squared is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. I like to think of it as change in x squared plus change in y squared. What do I get? Anyway, x2 minus x1, a sixth minus 6 squared. A sixth minus 6, not a sixth minus a sixth. A sixth minus 6 squared plus 0 minus 2 squared. A sixth minus 6 is negative 35/6 squared plus 0 minus 2, negative 2 squared. So these numbers get pretty nasty. Negative 35/6 squared, 1225 over 36 plus 4, which is 1369 over 36. So what I'm saying now is I'm saying the distance squared is 1369 over 36. So what is the distance? Square root of that? What do I get? Indeed, I get 37/6. 37 squared is 1369. 6 squared is 36. That makes me very happy because the distance from the point to the focus is the same as the distance from the point to the directrix, which is what it has to be. That is our definition of the parabola. The set of points, the distance from here to here, point to the directrix, is the same as the distance from here to here, point to the focus.